to My on Mondays, an explorative approach to the possessive My through narratives, art, and sound. I'm Matt Bunk. This episode is part of a series on place and home called Where We Are. So this week I asked Courtney Majors, where are we?
Okay, we're in Sydney's backyard, and we're around a fire pit that we had a fire at a few days ago, which is fun. There's a neighbor dog, and it kind of barks a lot. It's not bad to say. Yeah, it's a nice, sunny day, just in Sydney's backyard. Sydney's my niece, but also my sister, my best friend, my bestie. She's cool. I normally live all over Utah. I move a ton. I swear I move like every 6 months. So I'm currently moving next week to a place, and first time signing a big boy lease. So I should be there for a year. We'll see what happens. I think the act of moving and the act of having to reestablish yourself with roommates and just a new environment and making it feel homey is stressful. I honestly love a change of scenery though. Like, I have moved I think the longest I've stayed in a place is 9 months since high school. Like, between graduating high school and then going to college, going on a mission, moving all the time in the mission, and then coming home and just moving every 6 months. I haven't been in a place longer than 9 months for 4, 5, 6 years. My sister told me this 5 years ago, and I don't know how reliable this is, but I think it's true that when you take a new pathway to work, you're using a different pathway to your brain or something. You're opening pathways in your brain, and new experiences are really good for you, I'd say.
Courtney is a professional violinist, so she spends a lot of time gigging in other cities and towns across Utah.
I end up in small towns with my country band mostly. And those gigs are interesting. It's just it's very cool. I got to go to Tabiona, Utah last year, and it's past Park City, past Heber. And it was just, I mean, I think that's where it was. Don't quote me on that. But it was a very interesting dynamic, and it's cool to go to different places in Utah, and just the vibe of people are so different. You know exactly what to expect when you go play a bar in Park City versus a bar in Sugar House. I mean, same kind of vibe, but just so much contrast of people. Park City, you can expect a lot of tourists, and it's honestly not my favorite place to play because it's just different tax bracket. Can I say that? A different way of life. It's I'm coming here to earn a living, and you are coming here to spend 3 times as much as I am earning tonight, which is a lot. And it's just a casual Sunday evening. But every place is different. I'm trying to really think. Well, going back to the Tabiona place, that gig was really fun, and it's small town. I don't know, population 500, if that. I don't know. Sorry, Tabiona. I don't know anything about you. But yeah, it's cool to see the different way of life, because Tabiona's 2 hours away from any city, and so versus Park City is top destination wedding place, people. Yeah, I'm a city person through and through. Just love the city. I couldn't take myself away from a downtown. I think it's very homey to me. The city is home.
Although she's moving again, Courtney loved her last place in Salt Lake because of how easy it was to get downtown without any plan for the night.
I think it's just cool to go with like no thought in mind. Like it makes me think of this one time I did it in particular where I just left my house and I had like 2 concert tickets to a concert I was like really looking forward to, and I could not find anyone to go with me. And at the same time, I am totally a solo concert goer, but that night I just really wasn't feeling it. And so I like totally scrapped the concert. I like started making my way to it, and I stopped at a beer garden and got like this really good like apricot lavender cider. It was so good. And then I just continued on my way and realized my friend was playing a show, and I ended up going to her show at a local, like, it's a really cool like D&D bar. And she was playing, I can't remember, she does like these like fantasy themed or like video game themed music, and so that's really fun. And her friends are really cool. I've hung out with them a few times. And then we just spent the whole night, and it's like, okay, it's 2 a.m. I'll go home now.
It's been a good run, but it's time to go somewhere new.
I just want to leave Utah. I definitely need to leave Utah. There's a lot. There's a lot of reasons. I think the biggest one is just the fact that we only really do have one life, and as much as I want to stick around for family, how often do I really see my family in Utah, you know? And I think I'd actually make more of an effort to see them if I lived outside of Utah. But regardless, or like besides family, we really only have one life, and I'm not happy in Utah, and I don't think I should stay because, and it's hard because I'm in like 5 bands. I have all these connections. Like, that's where my work is. And it'd be really hard, in my opinion, to have to go and rebuild that somewhere else. And maybe, I bet it'd be faster the second time around, like trying to build up a career in music elsewhere, because I have that experience and I know what to do to get the jobs. But that is one thing that keeps me in Utah, is just the connections that I already have.
The city itself is full of landmarks that are a mixed blessing to leave behind.
So I moved away from Salt Lake at 13, and I was able to move back 6 months ago. And that period of time, I was there for 7 months. Wow, so long. Good job, Courtney. I was in that house for 7 months, and it was really cool because the park down the street was the park that my mom like jumped in and saved a kid like from the river, and it's the park that my brother proposed to his now wife. And there's just a ton of like the Victory Boulevard is where like my elementary walkathon was, and like all those memories I love. Like, it feels like home, even though I've been so distant from it. But coming back to it, it's like, oh, this is where I grew up. Like, this is my childhood home in essence. Not like home as a place, but home as like, oh, this is my city, you know, like, yeah. The physical place that comes to my mind first is the Salt Lake City Temple, because I would drive past there. I've drive past it. My parents would drive us to, okay, I can't talk. My mom would drive us to elementary school every morning, and we would pass the temple. And as a doctrinated or indoctrinated child, however you want to look at that, I would look at the temple and I would say, like, I would seriously think a lot, like, I'm going to get married in there someday. And I knew exactly who I was going to marry, is the neighbor boy down the street. He's really, really cute. The last temple memory I have, passing the temple. And this is, like, the last time I made note to it. There's a lot of construction there, and they were, like, transferring, like, a block of porta potties like over the temple to, like, on a crane. And I wish I had a video of it, but like Literally, that's what was happening. I guess it kind of... it makes me... The temple's under construction. It's been under construction for, like, years. And... yeah, it's really cool to disassociate that place from, like, my childhood memory of wanting to get married there, because I know that's nowhere in my reality now, nor would I want it to be. So it's kind of fun to reclaim that memory of it's just a building.
Having been raised in and then having left the LDS church can be a particularly intense experience in the Mormon capital.
I've kind of had to not distance physically, but emotionally distance myself from a few family members, the majority really, of this is what I'm going to tell you about my life, and I want to keep things peaceful, because I know if they ever found out, like, I was bisexual, or if they ever, like, just most of the conversations that we could have, I've just decided that I want to preserve the relationship, especially with them being, because I'm the youngest of 9. All my siblings are married with 6 kids, like, majority. And I have relationships with them. I just don't feel the need to be 100% open with them. Sometimes it adds another level of pressure to conform a little bit, like, especially with, like, family pressure. Like, I remember I just played a Pride show, and my dad came, and our singer is openly gay and, like, in the best relationship ever. And I just remember, like, so I'm looking at my dad in the crowd, and he's got the RBF. He is a very, like, non-expressive person emotionally. Like, if you make that man smile, you know that thing was funny, whatever you did, you know, like, you know, it made him happy. I've seen him cry, like, twice. And so it's kind of hard to read his emotions sometimes. And I was really in my head about what he was thinking about it. And, I think it's, I think the pressure from my family kind of influences how like, church and family, I do still kind of get jittery about performing things, or, like, certain things that I wear.
Lately, Courtney has been writing songs about her experiences of Utah culture, especially dealing with men.
Like, one of the ones I sang at the Address Book show was specifically about actually a singer in one of my bands. And it was my experience of being a woman in the music industry and him being a man in the scene. And that made me feel like I had a voice. I was like, oh, I can write about this, because this shit happens all the time. Like, this stuff happens all the time, and it's sadly seen as normal. Like, I tell my friend and they stick up for you. Like, some of the lyrics are like, hey, like, you're doing this to me and all your friends are gonna support you. Like, that's end of story. And I think it's really important to write about that. And I've, like, posted it on Instagram. He's liked it. Like, he doesn't know I'm still in the band. Like, I'll post, you know, he's not gonna know. And it's a conversation that we've had, and I didn't have that conversation through this song, but Address Book was the first time I'd ever played that song for, like, anybody. Like, and I still have not performed it. Like, I still get scared to perform it, and I think that's a good thing. Like, I think it's good that it's, like, that's, like, so vulnerable for me, and it's obviously, like, very unfinished, and I need to do some work on it, but at the same time, like, I love how uncomfortable it is, and, like, I know I'd never sing that at, like, USANA, or, like, it's a venue in Utah, or, like, I'm not gonna sing about that in the majority. And I like that it's a more intimate, I like that my music's very like intimate and like personal, and it's like, oh, okay, Courtney. Yeah, so I think it's good to make that uncomfortable music that kind of stirs the pot. And on uncomfortable music, I was at a book tour with Adam Met a few weeks ago in Salt Lake, and that was a really inspiring tour, because he talked about making, and so he's a musician, he's the A in AJR, Adam, and he wrote a book about how you use your platform as a musician or really any other figure, and like rally people to activate activism. Like he is very much into getting people into activism, and like he writes on how you do that and how like what works for them, because AJR's fan base is very like fan led. It's like a user-based experience, to be honest. And I think that gets fans excited and it gives them something to share. But off topic a little bit. But he talks about like Billie Holiday, who would write songs about lynching and sing them in these clubs of like old 60-year-old white men, you know, like, and like Phil Oakes. And a current artist that I really like is Buffalo Nichols, and he writes songs that are just about what's happening in America. And you've got Childish Gambino with This Is America, and you have all of these artists who are like trying to make a difference and trying, like, I think songwriting has to be uncomfortable. Like it's a good thing for it to be uncomfortable. And so all of those experiences that I've had in like the last month or so of like learning about these artists and going to that book tour, and has just really helped me understand that like I do have a place with my music, no matter what it's about, no matter if it's like quote unquote dark. Like I think I'm very happy that I've realized and had those experiences that have helped me understand that writing is like something I can do, and I don't have to whitewash it like for the radio kind of thing. And I think that's never, I don't know, it used to be my goal. I was like, oh, I want to be that pop star with like 1 million followers, like on stage playing the biggest venues. But I'm like, no, like give me the small town like fan base that is dedicated to like changing the world, and leave Benson Boone for the rest. Like, sorry Benson, we kind of like you. But yeah, I think it's good to stand out, and it was definitely gradual. Like I started in like Christian pop. Like I wrote a Christian song, and I've like recently taken it off of platforms because it doesn't line up with how I currently feel, and it's just 20-year-old Courtney pining for her life through Christianity.
In the wake of leaving the church, with all the changing family relationships that entails, Courtney's parents still come to all her Salt Lake shows.
When I left the church, when it was kind of the first time we had, because I like lied to my parents all growing up, like they never knew what I was doing, or like, and I was a good kid, followed the rules, but they never really knew how I felt. And then I kind of shoved it down their throats like 3 years ago. I was like, hey, you need to know exactly what happened. You need to know exactly how I feel about things now. Like I'm very, very, very open. Like they know I'm very active in all things that have everything not to do with the church. Tell my dad about my favorite bars. Like my mom knows I have an IUD. Like just like all these things. But my dad and I got a lot closer when I left, because we're finally able to have that real conversation, and he did a really good job of being like, hey, I love you no matter what. Like, this is what I believe. I totally respect that you believe something else. And he's been super supportive, and I'll like, anytime I want to have a conversation about church stuff. Like, I go to him and he's so neutral, and I'm like, please leave one day, but like, please let me take you with me to the dark side. Not really, because I'm like, so like, it works for them, you know. The church definitely works for them, and it worked for me for 20 years, and then it didn't, and so I did something else about it. But they do come to a lot of shows, which I love. And I was even nervous for my dad to hear the song Address Book, and the song that talks about the singer in my country band, like, being a man and me being a woman. And I'm pretty sure I brought him to tears. Like, I'm pretty sure he had some emotional reaction where it's like, okay, no, he gets it. And my mom's coming around. She's very set in her ways. It's really cute. She'll like talk to me about Exmos, and I'm like, Mom, you're talking about me to me, and it's kind of funny. It's really funny. But they're just great, and they do come to as many shows as they can. They get mad when I don't tell them about things, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I forgot. Like, but they're so supportive. My dad seriously is my number one fan, and he's very open and very understanding about most things. I think he was a little uncomfortable at Pride Night, unfortunately, but I think he still came, and yeah, he loves to support me. So, yeah.
With her fairly nomadic lifestyle, I wanted to know where Courtney's ideal life would take her.
Dream life. I think I wake up and I think I feel good about what I'm gonna do that day. And I'm not taking any gigs that I necessarily don't want to. I think in my dream life, I am preserving my energy a little bit better than I do now. And I don't know, I wake up with the knowledge that I've made life choices to influence and inspire others. Like, I saw this band the other weekend, Top House, and they were really good, but you could just tell. And I watch a lot of bands. I'm like at a concert every week if it's not my own. You know, like I go to a lot of live music. I'm in a lot of live music. I'm in that scene, and you could genuinely tell that they were a group of friends who wanted to play music and had a purpose of playing music. And they were so kind. I got to talk to them after. But I want to be like them. I want to be an artist that somebody looks at and it's like, oh, okay, they have a good head on their shoulders. They're making a difference in the music community, and they're making a difference in like people's lives, and they're kind. Like, I think that's my ideal life. I think that's like the person I'm like striving to become. And like situational, I think I wake up and I'm not stressed financially. I mean, what musician is never not stressed financially though? Like, I'm sure that's just in my career for the next 70 years. But I wake up, I'm not stressed financially. I know where I get my money. It comes in from a lot of different musical places. And I don't know, I feel good about what I'm doing.
My On Mondays is brought to you by Ming Studios, a contemporary art space and international artist residency. For more information, or if you'd like to participate in My On Mondays, you can visit our website at mingstudios.org. We'll be back next Monday.